today we're going to learn about forms of quadratic functions. So we're putting together all the things we've done so far. So let's go ahead and let's look at the forms that we've talked about already. We've talked about standard form. That's y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. This one allows you to quickly see the y-intercept. All you have to do is look here, and that is your y-intercept. So that's the benefit to standard form. For vertex form, that's this formula here, and it shows the coordinates of the vertex. So remember we said it was h and k is the point where your vertex is. And then for factored form, that's where you have this before you solve the zeros, and all you got to do is change the sign. So if we have a here and then b, do that there. So that shows you exactly where the x-intercepts are. So I did the first one for you. What we're going to do is we're going to take this equation, and first we need to figure out what form it's in. Well, it's currently in vertex form, and I know that because it's y equals ax minus h squared plus k. So that's vertex form. And then the information that's really easy to get from here is your vertex. Well, we said that h goes here and k goes here. So that's really easy to do to find that information. Now we got to start doing some work. So now let's go over here, and it says convert the function to standard form and to identify what you know. So standard form, we said, is ax squared plus bx plus c. So now we're going to take this information and we're going to plug it into here by doing the formula. Put it that right there. So notice it's x3 squared. So that's why I did x minus 3, x minus 3. And then don't forget that minus 1, which was right here. Now that we've got all of that, now we're going to go ahead and you're going to distribute the x squared, x minus 3. What did I do? I think I made a oopsies here. Did I make a oopsies? I did make an oopsies. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Okay, let's try this again. All right, so let's do this. And I caught myself. So now we can go ahead and let's change this here. And that's obviously I wrote the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. All right, so now go ahead and let's distribute. Plus 9, and then don't forget to bring down this negative 1 right here. Okay, so now that we've got that, let's combine our like terms, and then combine those like terms, and then now we've got this in standard form. So standard form is really easy to figure out what your c value is, and that would be your y-intercept. So this is your y-intercept that you can get from standard form. All right. And then we're going to take our equation that we had up here. I don't know why I wrote it wrong originally, but I've got it right here. So now we're going to take this and we're going to convert to factored form. And then, so this is our standard, and we're going to factor it out. And then now I kind of did a long way. You'll kind of start to get the hang of it, but I factored, I did my grouping, and then I've got x minus 2 here. And I've got x minus 4 here. And remember, you need to set them both equal to 0. And then add 2. And then so you get x equals 2. And then we're going to add 4. And then that's why you get x equals 4. So now put it into your x-intercepts. And that's the information you can get from factored form. And then lastly, you're going to go ahead and you're going to graph all the parts that you found. So we found the vertex, which is right here. We found the y-intercept, which was 0, 8, but unfortunately the graph doesn't go to 0, 8, but that's all the way up there. We also found your x-intercepts. Your x-intercepts were those right here. And so now put them all together, and then you can go ahead and connect the points to make a parabola. And so use all the information from before to create that. All right, so now let's go ahead, let's do another one. And here it gives us something in standard form. And that standard, remember we said it's really easy to figure out the y-intercept because all you got to do is look what your c value is. So in this case it's -5, and that's where you got that for your y-intercept. Now we're going to take our standard form and we're going to factor it. So when you factor it, we're going to break that down to 1, -5, and then like I said, go ahead and do your grouping. So I've got x minus 5 gives you here, x plus 1 gives you here. Now once you get there, you don't have to technically subtract. You'll start to notice it's the opposite sign for your x-intercepts, but the reason being is because when you solve for 0, you've got to do the opposite sign. And then here, subtract 1, and then so you'll get x equals -1, which is going to go there for your x-intercept. Now, to put it into vertex form, this is where you've got to complete the square by going ahead and taking your standard form. And this one, we're going to, since it's -5 here, we need to add 5 to both sides. And you're going to get y plus 5 equals x squared minus 4x plus 4. We're going to factor that. So we had to make our trinomial here, and we had to add 4 to both sides. And then we take our trinomial and we make our binomial. And then we go ahead, and that would be x minus 2 squared. But remember, it's y plus 9 because we had to add those. Now that we've got this squared, now we're going to move this 9 back over here by subtracting. And then I'm just going to finish my work, so that cancels out. So I'm going to move it up here, and it's going to be y equals x minus 2 squared minus 9. Now that it's finally in vertex form, now all you got to do is look at your h, and then look at your k, and then that's vertex form. And then just to remember, when we're doing our trinomial, don't forget I have your b minus 2 squared equals c. And then that's how we got that guy. All right, so once we've got that, now we can put it all together. So again, the graph doesn't quite go where it's supposed to go, but your vertex, we said was 2, -9, and I kind of just evenly spaced it there. We said the y-intercept was 0, -5. We said our x-intercept was 5, 0, and -1 there. And then once we put it all together, I just went through and I connected your points. All right, so you're going to try number 3 on your own. You're going to do all the forms. I gave you a hint and I told you which form to do, but you're going to complete all of those. And then I will give you a hint for number 3. You will have to draw, your graph should look something like that. So make sure this graph goes, you'll have to make it a little bit even. All right, now what we're going to do is, given the following zeros on the point of a graph, write the equation in standard form. So this is standard. And then for standard, we're going to use these points that it gave us. So it says write the equation in factored form using the x-intercepts. Well, your x-intercepts would be whenever y is 0. So I wrote this, but if you see it's -2, we know when you factor it, it's going to actually be +2. And the reason why is because we just did, if x equals -2, you just add 2 to both sides. So you're working backwards. And then here, now that I've got this, now I can put it here. And then same thing here, if x equals 5, all we're doing is getting this back to its factored form. And then that's where you got that. So then, now that we have that part, now we can use this to plug into here. But this time, we're going to use the given point for x and y to find a. Well, they gave us the points, and they gave us a y and an x. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug these in. Let's say this is x, this is y, and then that's where I got this from, and that's where I got this from, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to solve all of that by substituting in the values and solve for a. So we're going to go ahead. -1 plus 2 is 1, -1, -5, -6. And then, like I said, we plugged in here, that part, and bring that down. So now 1 times -6 is -6a. And then we're going to divide both sides by -6, and -18 divided by -6 is +3, which is a. Now that we got that part, now we're going to take this and plug it in to here. So we took our factored form from before, and we took our a from here, and now you're going to put it all together. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to distribute. And then don't forget to bring this 3 down out front. And then now, combine like terms. So we'll get y equals 3. And then now you can go ahead and now let's distribute the 3 here to get 3x squared minus 9x minus 30. And then that is standard form for all of that, given the information here. All right, so number 5, I'm going to have you do number 5 and number 6 on your own, but I'm going to give you a hint. If it gives you the x-intercepts are -1 and 8, that means y has to be 0. And then notice it said the y-intercept is 16, so this would be your point right here. That means x is 0. So that's your hint, but you're going to go ahead and you're going to write that in standard form using the information. And then here, given the graph, write the equation in standard form. So now you're going to work backwards given this graph with all of these points. All right, so go ahead and try those. Oops. And then number 7, I want you to try number 7 on your own. And then number 8, you're going to try also. We'll do these together in class. And then lastly, we have forms of quadratic equation using Desmos. Well, Desmos is pretty cool, and you will be allowed to use Desmos for part of the test. So it's important you understand how to do it. Well, you're going to go to Desmos, and you're going to enter in whatever the equation is for, and in this case, this is the equation. So I'm just going to go off here. And then, so this is Desmos. So you just click the plus and expression, note, table, folder, whatever you're doing. In this case, I did expression, but I've already entered in the expression. Don't forget to do f of x or type y, either or, whatever the equation is. Type that in, and then once it pulls up, you'll notice you'll get your quadratic in this case. So all you got to do is you see your intercept. Here's one intercept, 0, 0. Here's the other intercept, -2, 0. I'm just clicking where it has all these major points, and your vertex is -1, 1. So once you're done with that, then you can go and you can answer any questions that might be about it. So what you're going to do is I gave you the answer to number 1. So for number 1, you're going to go and you're going to enter in y equals x squared minus 5x plus 4. And then if you did this correctly, you should get all of the same information I have on mine. So let me go ahead and let me turn on my keyboard. I'm going to go to, oops, not YouTube. I'm going to go here. Oops. I'm going to do expression. I'm going to delete that right now. So I'm going to go, see, f of x. Okay, there it goes. F. There it goes. It needed to connect. Equals, and then we said x squared, and you can just do the a squared button there. And then it says minus 5x, and then plus 4. All right, and then obviously you'll need to adjust as is, but once you've got that, all you got to do is just type some of the important parts, and it's going to tell you, oh, look, there's a 0 where it crosses the x-axis. There's a 0, 1, 0. And then your vertex is down here at 2.5 and -2.25. And then once you've got that, then you can go ahead and you can write this in factored form, where remember you take the opposite sign, so it's going to be x minus 1 and then x minus 4. So when you're doing that, you should get the answer like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on Desmos and you're going to enter in the answers for that. And then that is how you do quadratic equations in different forms.